What's a secret you won't share with anyone in person, but you are willing to share anonymously? Well, my wife knows this now, but I wouldn't tell another soul. A few years ago me and my wife moved into her parents' place to save some money, so we were adjusting to living with parents again. It was strange and uncomfortable. I woke up one morning and it felt like the world was about to fall out of my butthole. I went to open the bedroom door and could hear my father-in-law getting ready to head out for work. I'm panicking thinking, oh no, I know this is gonna be bad. I'm not gonna go take this mega dump so early on into our time living here. I need to devise a plan. I stayed in the bedroom, emptied out the little bin we had in the corner, and crap into the bag that was placed in there. I wiped my butt with some tissues that happened to be on the side, stand up and tie a knot in the bag. Now I'm getting ready for work with this bag of crap by my feet. My next stage is to get rid of this thing. I can't do it in any of the bins here. Think frick it, I'll take it out and find the nearest one I can see. I even questioned putting this bag of crap in a neighbor's place if nobody sees. I walked 15 minutes to work with a bag of my own crap in my hoodie pocket until I could find a public bin to throw it in. Your logic, I can't crap in my father-in-law's toilet. That would be weird. I know, I'll crap in my father-in-law's trash can and then carry that bag of crap with me all day as a souvenir. That's not weird at all. Somewhere your logic went off the rails. I just died laughing. I'm the reason my cousin is mentally handicapped. We are the same age, and when we were 7 our grandpa bought dirt bikes for us. Well, we decided to make our own trail in the woods. Took the entire summer. I put this tree branch purposely at roughly head level, just so he could duck under it, and it would look awesome. The branch was heavy, but I was able to sit it conveniently between 2 trees. He was more brave than me, so he went first. Being dumb kids, we didn't wear helmets. I yelled for him to duck, but he didn't, and hit his head on the branch, got knocked backwards and hit his head again straight into the ground. I told everyone it was an accident. Grandpa sold the dirt bikes. I didn't see my cousin a whole lot after that. That was nearly 25 years ago. I see him every Christmas, and it's always the same. In a wheelchair, being spoon-fed by his mom. He can't speak, he likes to draw funny shapes. He most likely doesn't remember the incident, and I don't know if he remembers me. But that's what haunts me. Honest mistake, you did nothing other kids didn't do. It's no one's fault. Life is just hard sometimes. I'm so sorry you feel so guilty. Understandable, but serves no purpose. My fiance is the only person I actually enjoy being around. I don't really say that out loud because it puts unfair pressure on her and exposes my antisocial tendencies. I wasn't always this way. It kind of happened over the past 6 or 7 years after a deep depression and struggle with drugs. I've been happy and drug free for several years, but I haven't been the same. When I make myself hang out with friends, I generally sit there thinking about how long I should stay before I can duck out and go home without looking like an asshole. It's hard for me to have conversations with people because I just think things like, when are they going to leave me alone? Or when can I leave? I'm pretty good at hiding it and have several people who consider me to be their friends, but I secretly get no enjoyment out of those relationships. I'm not sure why my fiance is different, but it makes me very afraid of losing her. I'm almost positive I won't find anyone else that I will be able to love like I do her. There have been a few months here and there in the past where we split up, and I went out on dates with several other women. Some of them were very pretty and very nice, but I absolutely hated the entire process and never followed through on subsequent dates. I wish I could change that about myself, but I don't know how. I used to be in this place. I fixed it by pretending to care, meaning I would ask questions about people as if I cared and listen to the responses and remember them. I didn't care, but I pretended. Then over time I started to actually care and enjoy being around them. Being in a group of people and only focusing on yourself only makes it get worse. If you find, after you invest in the people, that they are not worth being around, find new people. I'm a leader at my church, volunteer, not paid or making a career of it. I used to teach Sunday school, still occasionally fill in if someone is sick. Went to a Christian college for a bit. Minored in New Testament Greek. Married a Christian girl. Had kids who are growing up in our church. I can no longer bring myself to honestly believe in God. I wish I could, but it just doesn't make any sense. I only maintain the illusion of keeping the faith, because it would cause a lot of heartbreak to people who I really care about if they knew. It's like I lost a friend who I had for 34 years, who I was super close to, who was always there for me, who knew me better than anyone else. But I can't mourn this loss, because my family and close friends still believe this friend is alive, and if I tell them I don't believe, they'll feel like they lost me. I fart in my coworker's small office all the time. We are friends and all, so it's nothing malicious. I know when he leaves, and usually how long he's going to be gone, so I'll hold my farts, and when he leaves I'll walk into his office and air out. It's honestly hilarious. He will sometimes comment about it. He thinks that it's because he shares a vent with the bathroom 2 doors down the hall. He doesn't, but the office between his and the bathroom never stinks, so there goes his theory. Sometimes I'll go, let one off, then like 10 minutes later get and I'm like, dude, this office, man, it bloody reeks in here. I don't think they've changed the carpets in years. This is nuts. Meanwhile I'm holding my sides in laughter. I have two. One, that I have night terrors that I can't even explain. Usually dealing with bizarro scenes you'd see out of an American Horror Story episode. Usually about friends, family, acquaintances, old friends I haven't seen in years. Literally anyone, to the point of waking up crying and being scared to sleep. 2. That I think I'm actually developing Alzheimer's at age 23. I have a hard time remembering anything nowadays. I couldn't even tell you what I did yesterday. It's as distant as being 5 years old in my mind. I don't tell anyone, because I don't like the feeling of people thinking there is something wrong with me. I already struggle with the idea that I actually have autism and everyone just interacts with me to be nice. Please see a neurologist. I involuntarily had my balls squeezed by a jealous husband that I never knew existed. One time, a girl had me over at her place. Stupid me, I didn't look around very much and noticed the photos all over of her husband and kids. Ties me to her bed, arms and legs all pointed at the 4 corners of her bed. Kinda hot being a little bit vulnerable like that. A few minutes into having some fun times, her husband comes home shouting I knew it, hits her a few times, leaving her in a pile on the floor, crying. Next thing I know, he's coming toward me. Not fast, but slow, like he is going to enjoy what's next. Squeeze the hell out of my balls. I don't mean a single hand crushing the whole sack either. I mean each nut in a separate hand, between the thumb and index finger. Hurt like hell as he did it for probably 10 minutes straight before finally slapping her once more before storming out. Bro, I think he got involved into their kink. They probably tied up a bunch of young dudes who got their balls a nice double hand squeezing. The day of our 10-year wedding anniversary I found that my wife had been talking to a guy online, trading pics, talking about possibly leaving me for about a month and a half. I sort of knew the guy through the guild my wife and I were in, World of Warcraft. The night before, when I got home from work, she was telling me some jokes he had told her, and I found it strange that she found them as funny as she did. I felt like it wasn't something she would normally laugh at. So while we were on the couch watching TV, I logged into her Discord account and the first thing I saw was I'd send you the pics but I'm being supervised. I immediately excused myself and went to bed. I didn't know what to think, so I just shut down. Upon waking up in the morning I googled a script that would download my chat history from Discord and I read it all. My heart broke when I read I'm so angry at husband when he's not with me, but I'm fine when he's here. My heart shattered the first time I saw her say I love you in the chat logs. It shattered again when I saw I thought banging husband a bunch would cure my horniness, but it hasn't. I haven't cried in frick, I can't even remember the last time I cried, but I cried 3 times while reading the logs. It was a sick train ride of deep sadness, despair, and anger seeing the progression of this happening. Getting further into the logs I see them arguing, resolving said arguments and then arguing again. At one point she exclaims to him she doesn't know why she's doing this and that she really loves me, but he's like her kryptonite and she can't help it. I can see both of them pushing each other away, yet still trading pics, presumably through Snapchat, although I can't prove it, every so often. By the end of the logs it appeared to me that they were basically wanking buddies whenever one or the other got horny, I guess. It seemed like any relationship had run its course, and they were just mechanically, or habitually, doing this. I confronted her. Said happy anniversary. Do we have another year? Told her I found the logs and read them. She explained how it happened, that we did have another year. She didn't know how to end it once she realized what she was doing, that she didn't really cheat on me. I roll. That she would immediately block him on everything. I was pretty catatonic for almost a week. It's about 6 weeks later now. We seem to be doing fine now, I think. The trust is still broken though, and I still find myself wanting to log into all her accounts to check on things if she leaves her phone out or computer on. I'm doing mostly okay at this point, though sometimes I'll hear or see something that reminds me of everything, like when I saw this post title, and I'll have an attack of depression, I guess. Hard to explain. I haven't talked to anyone about this because I still love her and I don't want my family and friends to hate her. Now, I feel like I should note why she was angry with me since I mentioned it, but didn't really explain. She was angry because she felt like I wasn't doing anything / enough around the house. She talked to me about that while she was already talking to him. Now, I felt like I was doing plenty and she just wasn't recognizing it. However, I still took her complaint seriously. So I started writing down everything I did around the house in a sort of daily journal, from picking up trash, cleaning up cat puke, taking care of the little one, to picking up her old coffee mugs and used Splenda packets. I'm still doing this because I realized while I was doing things around the house before I started the documentation, it was hard to say how much I was actually doing because most of it seems inconsequential by itself, and I would forget what I had done, making it hard to say I wasn't just being lazy. When tracking it though, it's much easier to remember without looking at the journal, and it all added together is actually a lot that I do. Plus, it's just satisfying to see the pages fill up from margin to margin with all of that stuff. Anyways, thanks for this post. It's been really good to actually say something about this. Everyone thinks I have my life together, but in reality it's a horrible mess and I've gotten dangerously good at being manipulative and lying in order to get what I want after a rough childhood. I'm always keeping my emotions in check in order to portray myself however best fits the situation and prey on the emotions of others. I can't tell the truth anymore without deconstructing a 10+ year-old cumulative lie. Hell, I find myself lying over trivial things just to see how far I can go with it and still get away. Up till the last few months it was all subconsciously, but now that I notice it, I'm concerned, not worried, if that makes sense, how this will affect any future relationships plus any future kids. Since I can't really come clean at this point, 90% sure I have sociopathic, if not psychopathic tendencies, and the negative stigma in that alone keeps me up at night in case someone finds out. Worst part is this doesn't worry me, even though logically I can deduce it should. In fact, I'm in love with the thrill of keeping this con going, even though I know it will end up extremely destructive. Thank God for anonymity. I'd never be able to say any of this in person.